There's all kinds of Kurt is dead stuff, total devil worship of the worst kind, altars, virgin.
Now some
naked.
white trash mothers are going to sue us after they beat their children for a few years and neglect them, and then they kill themselves, blame it on us, and they blow their faces off.
I
and
gave
they
him
look
a
like
good Christian upbringing.
dope, man.
What happened?
Anyone who knows Nirvana is also likely familiar with their frontman and songwriter, Kurt Cobain, who died on April 5th, 1994, at his home from a gunshot wound in what is believed to have been a suicide. Furthermore, those who have investigated Cobain's death will quickly realize that there is more to the story. Some have suggested that his wife at the time, Courtney Love, was responsible for his death because Cobain was unhappy in their relationship and wanted a divorce. The rumor suggests that she hired a hitman to kill him so she could inherit his assets before he could leave her. Over time, this conspiracy theory gained more popularity, fueled in part by private detective Tom Grant, who was hired by Courtney Love to locate Cobain when he was missing in the days leading up to his death. Grant himself has made several statements that suggest he does not believe Cobain's death was a suicide, and that Love may have had some involvement in what really happened.
In Grant's well-known case study on Cobain's death, he claims investigative negligence by the Seattle Police Department and touches on Love's involvement in a possible conspiracy.
I've never said that Courtney Love pulled the trigger. I do believe that there were people involved in a conspiracy that resulted in the death of Kurt Cobain.
Love gave false information about the location of notes that Cobain had written to her and failed to disclose the existence of a greenhouse at the back of the house, where Cobain's body was eventually found. The detective who was searching the home was unaware of the greenhouse's existence and did not locate Cobain's body. This caused some people to question the detective's abilities, despite his reputation as a respected law enforcement officer with a track record of solving murders and homicides. I highly recommend the documentary Soaked in Bleach, which delves into this topic in more detail. I have included a link to the documentary in the description below. One reason why the case remains unsolved is that the entire focus on Courtney Love as the perpetrator may have been a deliberate distraction. If Love was truly responsible for Cobain's death, why would she call a private investigator on herself, knowing that it would make her an immediate suspect? It seems unlikely that someone who had planned and carried out a murder would make such a careless mistake. It leaves one to question whether Love was either a complete maniac, lacking the foresight to see the consequences of her actions, or a genius, successfully deflecting suspicion away from herself. Over the past few years, I've had this wild idea that Dave Grohl might have played a part in Cobain's death. The more I researched, the more it seemed to add up.
This is a miracle that you've been in two successful bands, Nirvana and Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. You know that.
Yeah.
Let's get real for a minute. Dave had a lot more to gain from Kurt's death than Courtney did. He had an album set to release just a year after Cobain's passing. And let's be honest, he's always had a bit of a fame addiction.
How do you feel about all this success?
I like it.
Have you bought any
I love being
hot
successful. I
clothes?
have to say, it's pretty awesome being as successful as we are.
Not conflicted at all.
No,
Just pure.
not for 1 second.
Like, are you guys like having some
I
issues
mean, I
between each
understand
other
some
now?
bands don't want to be huge and famous, but
We'll
we
take
do.
we'll take your leftovers.
So we want to be huge and famous.
Plus, if he was about to be kicked out of Nirvana, his credibility and name would have taken a massive hit.
You know what? You weren't married to him. I was. You didn't get kicked out of a band by him like Dave. He did. Go see the Foo Fighters and do that shit.
And let's not forget about his creepy, dark vibe in those old Nirvana interviews. He practically predicted Cobain's death.
There's all kinds of Kurt is dead stuff, total devil worship of the worst kind, altars, virgin.
Now some
naked.
white trash mothers are going to sue us after they beat their children for a few years and neglect them, and then they kill themselves, blame it on us, and they blow their faces off.
I
and
gave
they
him
look
a
like
good Christian upbringing.
dope, man.
What happened?
Grohl was among the individuals in Kurt's inner circle who claimed that Kurt was suicidal. Additionally, there are several video clips featuring Kurt's close friends, including the person who initially introduced Kurt to Grohl, which raised some suspicion.
I also heard that you introduced Kurt Cobain to Dave Grohl.
And look what happened to Kurt.
Maybe you shouldn't have done it.
Exactly.
If you could go back, would you not do it?
I wouldn't do it. I'd just shoot both of them in the head. That would cause a lot less problems for all of us.
I don't know, that seems a little radical, but I appreciate
I'm a progressive.
your opinion.
I'm very progressive when it comes to these things.
It's a terrible thing that this guy didn't get to live his life and enjoy his time on Earth more. And I think that's because of the people around him. And I don't mean just his wife. All the people around him. And he made too much money for too many people, and he became too valuable too soon. He had to die. And that's how it works. And that's not nice. So that's what I got to say about that.
Anyone who's researched the music industry knows that there's a rampant obsession and worship of Lucifer. From pop to rock to rap, you will find it everywhere, sometimes hidden and sometimes in plain sight. Dave has undergone the rituals it takes in order to get a high level of fame, in my opinion. Devil worship, one-eye symbolism and dress humiliation. He even played the devil himself in the iconic film Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny, another movie scattered with Illuminati and Luciferian symbolism. Dave is really close friends with Jack Black and Kyle Gass, who admit in plain sight, disguised as jokes, that they are devil worshippers and black magic practitioners so they can achieve fame and fortune.
The tribute song is about saving souls from demons or something, as I remember correctly?
Yeah.
Now, what was...
Well, you know, there's a rich history of the devil in rock and roll. It goes all the way back to, like, Elvis was everyone said, he's playing the devil's music. What was that great song, The Devil Went Down to Joe?
Oh, Charlie Daniels.
Charlie Daniels, he had some devil in there, and it goes even back to, before that, who's Robert Johnson?
Right.
You can find his roots, you know, way back to the beginning of rock. And so, you know, had we sold our soul to the devil? How else can you explain us being here on the channel?
It's worth noting that Dave Grohl has written and starred in a movie called Studio 666. The plot involves him killing his bandmates in order to launch his solo career and achieve fame for himself. While it may have been intended as a humorous take on the cutthroat nature of the music industry, it's still a rather insensitive topic considering the circumstances surrounding Kurt Cobain's death.
Well, it was my idea in that we would make a movie where band moves into creepy old house, starts making a record, the house is haunted, I become possessed, I murder the whole band and go solo.
Okay. Now, when Dave pitched this fantasy that he had, was anyone concerned?
I just was wondering if this meant something.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Do you think now, after making the movie, that it meant something?
I'm still not sure.
You're not sure?
And we survived. Look at us. We're still Foo Fighters.
You guys...
There you go, man. Finish the fucking song.
You did.
Sacrifice.
What did you just say?
I did, Fuck you! We want Dave back!
Dave? Dave's been gone for decades. He's a slave to music.
What about our band?
The band? What about him? Ronnie got what he wanted. Taylor finished the song.
Both Courtney and Dave could have worked together to make this happen, pretending to hate each other after Kurt's death to hide any suspicion that Dave could have been involved. It would also create a more legendary image for Dave and portray him as a hero-type figure. Now that the animosity between them has seemingly dissipated, one might wonder if they were secretly allies all along. Now for some ciphers and date numerology. Kurt Cobain lived for 27 years and 45 days. He died on April 5th, 1994, leaving 270 days left in the year. April 5th can be written like 4/5. Ritual equals 27 and 45. The date he was born, February 20th, 1967, adds up to 2 + 2 + 1 + 9 + 6 + 7 equals 27. Nirvana has 7 letters, which adds up to 7 + 9 + 18 + 22 + 1 + 14 + 1 equals 72, which is 27 mirrored. The 27th prime number is 103. In numerology, the 0 is not included, so we get 13. On March 1st, 1994 was Nirvana's last concert, written as 1/3. From his death to his next birthday, February 20th, 1995, is 322 days, the number of skull and bones. If we take the year and month he was born, February 67, like 2/67, his body was found on the day, leaving 267 days in the year. Their most iconic album, Nevermind, was released on the 267th day in the year 1991. The album was released on 9/24, September 24th, and he died exactly 924 days after its release. He was also a more than frequent wearer of Daniel Johnston's Hi, How Are You? Shirt. Hi, How Are You equals 67 in full reduction, just like the year Kurt was born, 67. If you're a coincidence theorist, then this will be a goldmine for you, but for us who have been studying date numerology, this is without a doubt a ritualistic murder by the numbers.